Hey beauties, morning to you beautiful people. Listen to me beautiful people. So I was listening to the president of the Jamaica Civil Service Association on television Jamaica this morning as I'm a bit stuffy. So yeah, so she was talking about wearing black today. And I said I wanted to do some checks. I'm so sorry that I didn't get to wear it. I have something that requires me to wear this blue. But anywho, anyhow, she said, she was talking about, it's almost a sense of being incensed and, I wouldn't say necessarily a feeling of angst, but more not pleased with the MOF, that's Ministry of Finance, on something that has been ongoing since last year. And it has to do with the Jamaica civil servants, getting with the reinstatement of passenger mileage, retroactive pay, things that benefit the civil servants, monies that ought to come to them, and so on. Retroactive mileage that should have been paid over, I think, something when I was doing the investigation beginning from 2022, 2023 and onwards, obviously, or maybe before perhaps. And, I remember they had a first meeting last year sometime. It may have been November, December or before. And they have been trying since, January they were to have the second meeting. Now we're on the cusp of July, the 7th month of the year. And up to now, nothing, And they are really, as civil servants, truly incensed by almost, it would seem like a lack of care on the Ministry of Finance's part, because they say they have been trying and trying. I remember sometime during the early part of this year, the Minister of Finance said they had reached out initially, but they didn't get any wind or any word from the Jamaica Civil Service Association representatives. And, I guess they basically rebutted and said that, no, we have been trying to get through. We have been saying, look here, do this, do that, reinstate this, reinstate that, give back people their monies, whether it's, retroactive monies on mileage, on salaries, and all the things that benefit the civil servants as it relates to being remunerated, as it relates to monies. And it is very disheartening to know that at this juncture, we're still here battling an issue that should have been resolved. Instead, when I go on social media, what I'm seeing is, people are going to, a clamping down, so to speak, will be coming on people who are spreading fake news and misinformation. Notwithstanding, I am not in support of slander. I am not in support of fake news. I'm not in support of anything that tears down falsely the character and or the personality, because there are two different things of people. I am not in support of that. It would go against my own principles, standards, and religious beliefs. I don't believe in that. So I must state that fact or state that reality. But the point that I'm making is that in life we have things that we prioritize. If we were to use, for example, the 10 commandments, do you realize that God has prioritized the commandments? It means that some take precedence over the other. It does. For example, the first commandment, we know it. God doesn't want you to breach it at all. The first commandment, I split them up into part A and part B. You have no other gods beside Jehovah God. You love him with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your mind, with all of your strength. Part B, you love your neighbor. You treat your neighbor the very same way you treat yourself or would want somebody to treat you. And then the rest of it goes on. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. It's not when we say Jesus Christ, it is using his name for a lie, for it is something deceitful, knowing that you're telling a lie using his name. Say, God believe me, when you know that God doesn't believe you because you are lying. So you're taking his name in vain. And then remember to keep the Sabbath holy. I'm not talking about a specific day. 7 days per week, you take 1 day for rest and worship and praise. And then the rest of them go on. And the big sins that you list out, like the fornication and adultery, they come way down. They come like maybe 6, 7, 8, and so on. You understand what I'm saying to you? They come way, way down. The point that I'm making is that we need to prioritize. The fake news saga has been ongoing from the beginning of time. From that era. From the beginning of time when Satan came to Eve. False and fake news have been spreading. Remember, previous prime ministers spoke and said, some of the things that they see, they themselves not even know that is even so. How they don't even know that that is so? In other words, it's not true. The very scripture, although it was speaking about people who are righteous before God, not perfect, means your heart and your mind and your soul, they're not filled with guile and malice and evil and wickedness, so to speak, like plotting wickedness and evil against people. That blessed are you when men shall revile you, criticize you harshly, false and revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. So in other words, we can't stop slander, we can't stop gossip, we can't stop rumor. I'm saying we need to prioritize. I'm not saying that because if I hear something that's not true and it's pervade, I'm going to come and so forth. But I'm saying I have to prioritize what's most important, what's the second most, third, and so on, and come down in that order. Or we'll be like, no, we'll be erratic all over the place, not stable in any of our ways. So I cannot believe that the president, Tisha Clark Griffiths, has to come now to say we're going to wear black. And if it continues, then, they're going to have to now pull back their way of protesting in a healthy and righteous way, in a right way. Something that is not unseeming or wrong or illegal or unlawful or unethical. This is really a travesty of justice. It is unacceptable that at this juncture they're still fighting for monies that belongs to them because they work hard. They've been toiling. And when you look, only a small percentage of the public servants are being paid well. Those who get the 100%, 200%, 300% increase. And all the benefits that come along with the positions that they hold, because they say in order to give premium service, they have to get premium monies. And if we consider what is happening in Jamaica premium service, locks of mercy, I wouldn't want to know what is not premium. If what we're facing economically in terms of crime and violence, in terms of the evil that is being promulgated in our country in different ways, poor leadership, bad leadership, no leadership, I'm talking effective leadership, then can you imagine seeing what is not premium? What is not premium? How are we? I literally shudder. It's a travesty of justice. It is wrong. The president and her team should not have, and the civil servants should not having to be going out like this, speaking like this of, about things that benefit a large percentage of the public sector in a sense. And the entire public sector, which does not only include civil servants, is the larger of the two in terms of public versus private in the work world. So it has to contribute. If without them, then we cannot dark. People are tired of the bad, poor, little pay. People are tired in this 21st century. People cannot even survive. And as bad as things may be in different countries like America and so on, at least if certain little things that people can maneuver, where they can buy a decent home, a decent car, live a fairly decent life. And that is all the people are asking. When they promulgate a message over the years that to get a good education that will guarantee you a well-paying job. Nonsense and rubbish. Some people are even misfits. They're not even in the jobs of their dream or the job that aligns with their, not just their personality and character, but with their educational attainment and background. So a man, for example, is a medical doctor. He's doing something in agriculture. I'm not saying that you can't do that on the side, but that would be a waste because he would have been practicing something professional. He would have exhausted and expended a lot of time and energy and effort to not use it to his advantage. A man is a lawyer by profession, and it's something that is way off. It's a waste of his lawyering, of his law degree, and passing the bar. I'm not saying that you can't venture off into something else. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes you realize when you venture off into something is that, well, at least if it enhances who you are and what you're called to do, that's different. But we're talking about people who literally cannot get it. It's not a matter that they want to venture off. They can't get what them study for. And I'm a prime example of that. And it's not a lack of trying or lack of or competence and not being competent. It is just injustices, unfairness, inequality where it should not be. Stand with you, Mrs. Griffiths. Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my